Welcome to Rare Coins Numix, where rare coins come to life. We're exploring some of the most sought-after state quarters, coins collectors treasure for their unique designs and hidden value. Each coin tells a story that goes beyond its face value. Make sure to watch till the end to catch every exciting detail. Have you ever picked up a coin and thought, maybe this is worth more than just 25 cents? It's a simple idea, but one that captures the imagination of collectors and everyday people alike. Because every now and then, an ordinary coin turns out to be something much more. Not because it was made of precious metal, or because it's centuries old, but because of a small difference. A flaw. A detail. Something unexpected. And that brings us to the story of the 1999 Pennsylvania State Quarter, a coin that was made by the millions, but has one rare version that has caught the attention of serious collectors across the country. In 1999, the United States Mint began a new program that would end up becoming one of the most popular in U.S. history, the 50 State Quarters program. 5 states were featured each year, released in the order they joined the Union. Pennsylvania was the second state honored that year, right after Delaware. The design of the coin is familiar. On the reverse side, there's the outline of Pennsylvania, the statue, Commonwealth, in the center, and the words, virtue, liberty, independence. It's a clean, symmetrical design, representing the state's important role in U.S. history. Most people saw this coin as just another quarter. And for the vast majority, that's exactly what it is. But within the massive number that were minted, a very small group of coins came out just a little bit different. These weren't artist variations or special editions. They were the result of something mechanical. Something unplanned. A die error. Specifically, what collectors now call the triangular die crack. So what exactly is that? When coins are struck at the mint, they're pressed by steel dies that imprint the design onto blank discs. Over time, those dies wear down. Sometimes they crack. And when they crack, the result can leave a raised line on the coin's surface. In most cases, these die cracks are small and go unnoticed. But in rare instances, they can stand out clearly. The triangular die crack on the 1999 Pennsylvania quarter is one of those cases. The crack appears as a sharply raised line running through the top part of the state outline, right across the keystone. It forms a clear, triangle-like shape that wasn't part of the original design. This wasn't added on purpose, and it didn't come from damage after the coin left the mint. It happened during the striking process, and that makes it a genuine mint error. Only a very small number of these coins are known to exist with this specific die crack. And even fewer have been found in high-grade, uncirculated condition. To a casual observer, it might look like a scratch. But when you turn it in the light, you can see the raised nature of the line. It's not cut into the coin, it's sitting above the surface. That's one of the key signs that it's a die crack, not post-mint damage. Now, mint errors come in many forms. Off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, they all have their own following. But die cracks, especially large or distinct ones like this, are especially interesting because they give us a glimpse into the minting process itself. They show us what happens when the machines that produce our coins begin to fail, and how those errors can turn a regular coin into a collectible. Collectors who specialize in error coins prize these kinds of finds. But rarity alone isn't what drives interest. It's the combination of the error, the design it affects, the condition of the coin, and how well documented it is. In the case of the 1999 Pennsylvania State Quarter with the triangular die crack, all those factors come together. It's part of a well-known and widely collected series. The error is large enough to see with the naked eye. It affects the main design of the coin in a visually interesting way. And most importantly, only a handful have been found in top condition. Coins that are graded by professional services, like PCGS or NGC, are examined for their condition and their authenticity. The highest grades go to coins that are uncirculated, with full detail and no noticeable wear. These are the coins that bring in the strongest interest from collectors. In recent years, one of these Pennsylvania quarters with the triangular die crack, graded in mint state 66, was sold through a well-known auction house. The final price, $61,000. That's right. A modern U.S. quarter, minted just over 25 years ago, sold for over $60,000, simply because of a rare mint error and its pristine condition. There was no silver, no gold, and no special release. It was a standard issue coin, intended for circulation. The only thing that makes it different is a small die crack and the fact that it was preserved before it could be worn down in someone's pocket. Of course, not every quarter is going to be worth that much. Most are still just worth face value. But the possibility is real. These coins exist. And one of them could still be sitting in a roll of change, or tucked away in a desk drawer, or sitting unnoticed in a jar at home. So how can you tell if you have one? Start by checking the year. Look for 1999 and make sure the coin is from Pennsylvania. Then look closely at the reverse side, the back of the coin. Examine the keystone shape and the top portion of the design. You're looking for a raised line, usually forming a triangular pattern, cutting across the top part of the keystone. A good magnifying glass or coin loop helps a lot here. And if you think you found something, consider submitting it to a professional grading service. That's the best way to confirm what you have and to determine its market value. Let's move on to the next rare state quarter, a coin that most people passed over without a second glance, but one that now stands out for something very unexpected. We're talking about the 2002 Louisiana State Quarter, and trust me, this one has a story that's worth sticking around for. At first glance, this coin might seem fairly typical. It's part of the same 50 state quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint in 1999, a project that spanned an entire decade and aimed to showcase the identity, culture, and legacy of each state in a unique and collectible way. Louisiana's quarter was released in 2002 as the third issue that year, following Tennessee and Ohio. For coin collectors and everyday Americans, it was just one more entry in the collection. But for those who took a closer look, something rare was hiding in plain sight. Let's talk about the design first, because Louisiana's coin is rich with symbolism. On the reverse side, it features a pelican, the state bird, gracefully stretching its wings. Alongside it, there's a trumpet with musical notes flying out of it, representing Louisiana's deep roots in jazz music, especially in New Orleans. And in the background, there's a silhouette of the Louisiana Purchase territory, highlighting one of the most important land deals in American history. It's a detailed, layered design that pays tribute to Louisiana's identity, its art, its nature, its historical significance. It tells a story in metal. Now, the Louisiana Quarter was minted in Philadelphia and Denver, with both mint marks producing tens of millions of coins. In fact, the total mintage across both locations exceeded 760 million. So, with so many out there, what makes one of these coins worth more than $50,000 today? It all comes down to a rare minting error. A small mistake, invisible to most people, but absolutely clear to those who know what to look for. This specific error appears on a very limited number of Louisiana quarters from the Philadelphia Mint. On these rare coins, a die error caused an unusual raised feature to form across part of the coin's reverse, subtle at first glance, but unmistakable when examined under light. Some collectors describe it as a shadow or distortion across the state outline or over the pelican's wing. It wasn't supposed to be there, and it only occurred on a very small number of coins before the damaged die was pulled from use. The result? A true rarity. Now, error coins are nothing new. They've existed as long as minting has. But what makes this particular Louisiana quarter stand out is the combination of that rare flaw with pristine condition. The coins that carry this error and also remain in mint state, meaning untouched by circulation, still shining, and sharply struck, have become incredibly valuable to collectors. Over time, word started spreading within the numismatic community. Coin forums began lighting up with photos and speculation. Some collectors noticed the same odd raised feature appearing on a handful of Louisiana quarters pulled from original bank rolls. Others claimed to have found one only to realize it was too worn to matter. Condition, as always, plays a big role. Even with the error, a circulated coin won't reach the top value. But when that rare mistake appears on a coin graded MS66 or better, everything changes. These top-grade specimens are few and far between. Fewer than a couple dozen have been confirmed with this specific reverse error in mint state. And among those, only a handful have been certified at the highest grading tiers. For collectors who specialize in state quarters, or those who chase rare modern errors, this coin is a holy grail. It's the kind of piece that completes a collection, and elevates it. The US Mint never intended for these coins to be rare. They were mass-produced for everyday use, coffee purchases, vending machines, parking meters. But a fleeting mechanical issue created something unique. And today, the coin's value reflects that uniqueness. So what is this rare Louisiana quarter actually worth? In top mint state condition, with the rare error clearly visible and confirmed, its current coin value has reached as high as $55,000. It's a surprising figure for a coin that was meant to be ordinary. No special packaging. No silver or gold content. Just one small minting flaw, combined with exceptional preservation, and the right eyes to recognize it. Imagine holding on to one of these for over 20 years, not knowing what you had. Or passing one through your hands in change, unaware that you just gave away something with a 5-figure value. It happens more often than you'd think. And that's part of the fascination with modern coin collecting. It's not just about what was printed on purpose, it's about what happened by accident. It's about how flaws in the production line can turn everyday coins into something rare. Something valuable. Something worth searching for. So, the next time you're looking through your quarters, don't rush. Take a second to turn over that 2002 Louisiana coin. Look closely at the pelican, the trumpet, the outline of the territory. Check for anything unusual, especially raised lines or distortions that don't match other examples. If you think you found one, it might be worth having it looked at by a professional grading service. Because the truth is, these rare state quarters don't usually come with a spotlight. They don't shine any brighter than the rest. They just wait, quietly, for someone to notice. Let's take a look at one more hidden gem from the 50 State Quarters program, one that captures the spirit of America's island state, and one that holds real value for those lucky enough to find the rare version. We're talking about the 2008 Hawaii State Quarter. A coin that's more than just a piece of spare change. For the few who have the right one, it's something much more valuable. Released as the very last coin in the State Quarter series, the Hawaii Quarter had the unique task of wrapping up nearly 10 years of coin releases. From Delaware in 1999 to Hawaii in 2008, the program had been a huge success. Millions of Americans followed the releases, collected the coins, and learned about the history and identity of each state along the way. Hawaii, the 50th state to join the Union, brought the program full circle, honoring the country's youngest state with a bold, symbolic design. The reverse of the coin shows a standing figure of King Kamehameha I, the monarch who unified the Hawaiian Islands under one rule in the early 19th century. His arm is extended toward the 8 main Hawaiian islands, which appear floating to the right. Along the rim are the words Hawaii and 1959, the year Hawaii officially became a U.S. state. At the bottom, the state motto is inscribed in Hawaiian, Ue mau ku ia o ka ena I ka pono. Translated, it means, the life of the land is perpetuated in righteousness. The design is both simple and powerful, and it carries deep meaning for the people of Hawaii. The coin was minted in large numbers, over 500 million pieces struck between the Philadelphia and Denver mints combined. Like the others in the series, it was intended for everyday use. There were no special metal contents. No limited editions. Just a circulation coin, like all the rest, but hidden among those hundreds of millions, a very small number of Hawaii quarters were struck with a flaw. A flaw that collectors would later recognize as a minting error. One that occurred briefly, then disappeared as quickly as it came, making those few surviving coins extremely rare. This specific error is referred to by collectors as a double strike with misalignment. On a handful of Hawaii quarters, the coin was struck twice, but the second strike didn't land directly over the first. Instead, it landed slightly off-center, creating a shadowed or doubled appearance, most visible around the lettering or the portrait on the obverse side. On some examples, this can be seen in King Kamehameha's outstretched arm or the word Hawaii. And since this happened during the minting process, not afterward, it's a true mint error, and not the result of damage or tampering. what makes this era particularly valuable is how clean it appears on the few known examples. The doubling is distinct but not so extreme that it looks damaged. It's subtle enough that most people might miss it at first glance, but collectors know exactly what to look for. And when found in excellent condition, especially uncirculated, high-grade pieces, it becomes something special. Most Hawaii quarters are still worth face value. You'll find them in change, in collections, or in boxes tucked away in closets. But the rare double-struck, misaligned examples are a different story. These weren't intended to leave the mint in this condition, and only a few did before the error was caught and corrected. And because the Hawaii quarter was the final coin in the series, it also carries symbolic significance, adding to its appeal. Die errors and strike misalignments are common terms in numismatics, but the market doesn't value all of them equally. The most desirable ones show clear, identifiable features without compromising the overall design. In this case, the value of the 2008 Hawaii quarter comes from a clean double strike that maintains legibility and structure while showing undeniable doubling in certain design elements. A few of these coins were submitted to professional grading companies for authentication. The highest graded examples, those preserved in mint state 66 or above, quickly became the focus of attention in coin collecting circles. Word spread in online communities and numismatic forums. Photographs were compared. Die positions were analyzed. And gradually, the value of the rare Hawaii quarter began to rise. Collectors who specialize in state quarters, or in modern U.S. coinage more generally, started placing strong demand on these few known examples. They're coins that stand out even in a full set. A state quarter with both a story and a flaw. A final entry in a beloved national program that happened to escape the mint just a little bit different than the rest. So what is this rare version of the Hawaii quarter actually worth? When found in high mint state condition with the correct doubling and misalignment, the current coin value can reach up to $48,000. It's a big number for a coin that was never meant to be anything more than a quarter. But that's the beauty of collecting. Sometimes it's not about what was planned, it's about what slipped through. It's about the small, honest mistakes that happened at the right moment, and then disappeared. If you happen to have a 2008 Hawaii quarter, take a close look at both sides. Examine the lettering. The figure of King Kamehameha. The spacing and angles of the design elements. If anything looks slightly off, slightly doubled, or misaligned, it might be worth investigating further. Use a magnifier. Compare it to a standard Hawaii quarter. And if you're still unsure, consider sending it to a professional grader for confirmation. Up next is a quarter that holds more than just scenic beauty. It's a coin that quietly made its way into pockets, change jars, and cash drawers across the country. At first glance, it blends in with the rest. But for those who know what to look for, this coin tells a deeper story, one tied to the landscape it honors, and a rare twist that makes it one of the most sought-after pieces from its series. That we're talking about the 2014 Great Smoky Mountains Quarter. A coin that represents more than just currency. It represents legacy, natural wonder, and a bit of hidden rarity that only a few collectors have truly uncovered. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is one of the most visited parks in the entire United States. Spanning across Tennessee and North Carolina, it's famous for its misty ridges, rich wildlife, and preserved history. When the U.S. Mint chose to feature it in the America the Beautiful Quarters program, they were choosing to highlight not just a scenic place, but a piece of American identity. The coin's reverse design is simple but striking. A rustic log cabin sits quietly in the woods, framed by towering trees and a handmade fence. Beyond it, the mountains roll softly into the background, cloaked in mist. A hawk glides overhead, almost unnoticed at first, but it's there, a symbol of the park's thriving ecosystem. There's a certain calm to this coin. It doesn't shout. It reflects stillness. History. Nature untouched. This coin was the first release of 2014 in the America the Beautiful series and was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Millions were produced, just like other quarters in the program. Most were meant for circulation. A large number were collected in rolls, coin folders, and proof sets. Nothing about its original release suggested it would one day stand out, but it did. the difference isn't in the design. It's in the detail that a very limited number of these quarters were struck with a noticeable but subtle error, a double die reverse, known among collectors as a DDR. On these rare coins, the doubling appears in areas that require close inspection to catch, often around the log cabin's roof, the tree trunks, or the fence rails. It's not obvious at first glance. But once you see it, it's unmistakable. And crucially, this doubling happened at the mint, not after the coin entered circulation. That's what makes it a true collectible mint error. The rarity comes not just from the mistake, but from how few of these error coins have been discovered in high-grade condition. The vast majority of quarters, especially those released into the public, get handled, dropped, and circulated quickly. But a few of these Smoky Mountains DDR coins avoided that fate. They were either pulled directly from mint rolls or preserved early by sharp-eyed collectors. These are the coins that truly matter in today's collecting market. There's something fascinating about a modern quarter being worth more than many older coins. Especially when it's one that looks, to most people, like any other. It's a reminder that rarity doesn't always come with age or metal content. Sometimes, it comes from a moment, just a few minutes on the production floor when something shifted, just enough to leave behind a trace. The Great Smoky Mountains DDR coin is exactly that. A trace. A hint that something was different, even if no one noticed at the time. Collectors who have examined these quarters under magnification often say the doubling is clean and well-aligned, qualities that increase a coin's desirability. Unlike some dramatic misstrikes or off-center coins, these DDRs are elegant errors. Quiet, precise, and easy to miss if you're not paying attention. But when authenticated and preserved in mint state condition, they become something else entirely. Over the years, examples of this double die have been submitted to major grading services like PCGS and NGC. Only a small number have earned top mint state grades, and even fewer still carry the error label that confirms their uniqueness. These are the coins collectors are after, not just because of what they're worth, but because of what they represent: the thrill of the hunt, the power of attention to detail, and the fact that even in the modern age, valuable surprises still exist in everyday places. Imagine it, finding one in a roll of quarters, or spotting a subtle doubling where no one else had thought to look. For many collectors, moments like that are what the hobby is all about. So what's the value of this rare version of the 2014 Great Smoky Mountains quarter, in high mint state condition, with the confirmed double die reverse? This coin has reached a current coin value of up to $22,000. That's right, $22,000 for a modern quarter. Not because it was made of silver. Not because it was part of a special edition. But because of a rare, genuine minting error, and because it was preserved in exceptional condition. That kind of value doesn't show itself on the surface. You can't tell just by the shine or the date. You have to look closer. You have to know what to search for. And sometimes, you have to be willing to turn over a few more coins than the average person would. So if you happen to come across a 2014 Smoky Mountains quarter, don't rush past it. Give it a second look. Study the reverse. Pay close attention to the rooflines, the vertical trees, and the fence rails. If you think something looks unusual, if you see doubling or shadowing where there shouldn't be, don't dismiss it. You could be holding a piece that very few people have ever seen. Up next, we travel to the wild, rugged beauty of Alaska with a coin that honors one of its most remote and striking landscapes, the 2020 Salat River Bay Quarter. While it might look like any other quarter at first glance, this coin carries a story that has caught the attention of collectors and numismatists alike. Salat River Bay is nestled in the Aleutian Islands, a stretch of volcanic islands that seem to rise straight out of the North Pacific Ocean. This region is famous for its harsh climate, dramatic landscapes, and abundant wildlife. It's a place few people visit, making it a fitting tribute for a coin that celebrates the untouched beauty of America's wilderness. The U.S. Mint selected this location for the America the Beautiful Quarters program, aiming to highlight parts of the country that are often overlooked but truly remarkable. The design on this quarter is detailed and thoughtful. On the reverse, you see Mount Katmai, a volcanic peak known for its massive eruption in 1912 that reshaped the landscape. In the foreground, two brown bears search for food along the rocky shoreline, a scene that reflects the natural wildlife of the area. The engraving captures the texture of the bear's fur and the ruggedness of the coastline with remarkable precision. Surrounding this vivid image, inscriptions tell you the coin's place in the series: Salat River Bay, Alaska, 2020, and the familiar motto, E pluribus unum. When this quarter was released, millions were minted for both circulation and collectors. Like many coins in this series, the vast majority of Salat River Bay quarters are common and worth just their face value. However, as is often the case with coin collecting, there are always exceptions: coins that carry small differences, errors, or unique traits that make them stand out from the crowd. One such rarity with this coin is a double die error found on a very limited number of examples. This minting error causes certain parts of the coin's design, particularly the lettering and some details around the bears and mountain, to appear doubled or shadowed. This doubling is not caused by wear or damage after minting, but rather it's a product of a slight misalignment during the coin's striking process at the mint. Errors like this create a lot of excitement among collectors because they represent a unique moment in the coin's creation. Each double die error coin is different, making them truly one of a kind. And while the average Salat River Bay quarter is common, those with this doubling error can be significantly more valuable, especially if they remain in mint condition with no signs of circulation wear. If you think you might have one of these rare coins, it's worth taking the time to inspect it carefully. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to examine the reverse side closely. Look at the letters in Salat River Bay and Alaska, as well as the outlines of the bears and the edges of Mount Katmai. If you see any doubling or shadowing where the design appears thicker or duplicated, you may have a special find. Of course, condition is key. Coins that are crisp, with sharp details and original mint luster, are far more valuable than those that have been handled or worn down. Many collectors choose to have their coins professionally graded, which certifies their condition and authenticity, often increasing their value and appeal to serious buyers. This makes the 2020 Salat River Bay quarter a particularly interesting piece for both novice and experienced collectors. It highlights how even recently minted coins can carry surprises that transform them from everyday change into sought-after collectibles. Beyond just its monetary value, this coin also connects us to a remarkable part of the United States. The Aleutian Islands are remote and wild, and this quarter brings a piece of that wilderness into the hands of collectors everywhere. It reminds us of the vastness and diversity of America's landscapes, and the care taken to represent them through the artistry of coin design. This quarter also serves as a reminder of how coins are more than just money, they're storytellers. They carry history, culture, and the natural wonders of the places they depict. Each coin becomes a small window into a larger world, offering collectors a way to hold a piece of that story in their hands. So, next time you come across a Salat River Bay quarter, don't just glance and toss it aside. Take a moment to look carefully. You might be holding one of these rare double die error coins that collectors dream of finding. And that brings us to the end of our journey through today's fascinating and potentially valuable state quarters. I hope you enjoyed learning about these unique pieces as much as I enjoyed sharing them with you. If you found this video interesting or helpful, please take a moment to hit the like button. It really supports the channel and helps more people discover the joy of coin collecting. And if you want to stay up to date with more exciting coin stories and valuable finds, don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you know someone who loves history, nature, or coins, go ahead and share this video with them. Let's grow our community of collectors and enthusiasts who appreciate the stories behind these amazing coins. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, keep your eyes open and your collection growing, because sometimes, the rarest treasures are hiding right in your pocket.